Now at 10, the community of Chanute moves to distribute donated funds to victims of the recent Cornerstone Apartments fire. Plus, a modern-day Johnny Appleseed in Arkansas raises big green for some homegrown charities. And cyclists in Joplin mount up for a mass bike ride for fun and education.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
Authorities arrest a Walnut, Kansas man following a hit-and-run traffic crash involving 2 Crawford County deputies. This is KOAM News at 10. I'm Anthony Saviello. The incident happened early this morning. 2 deputies were responding to a traffic stop when a pickup truck going west sideswiped both of their patrol vehicles. Deputies had a passenger outside the vehicles just before the crash. According to the sheriff's office, one of the deputies, anticipating a collision, pushed the passenger toward the ditch before both deputies jumped into the ditch. Authorities found the hit-and-run suspect vehicle and driver about 7 miles away. They arrested the driver and took him to the Crawford County Jail for several charges related to the hit-and-run. Authorities in Jasper, Missouri arrest a man wanted for child molestation out of Jackson County. On Tuesday, Jasper police searched a house at 307 East Grand Avenue as part of a drug investigation. During that search, they found meth-related drug paraphernalia as well as a man hiding behind a dresser. That man was identified as Joshua Garber, who has felony warrants out of Jackson County for sexual assault in the 2nd degree and child molestation. Officers arrested Garber as well as a resident of the home for drug possession. Meteorologist Lindsay Gaffney joins us for a first look at our weather.
All right, so temperatures are starting to dip down into the 60s with our overnight low being around mid-50s for the region. We are seeing winds starting to lighten up. We had a wind advisory for today, and if you were outside, you could feel how fast those winds were blowing. Now they're going to start to shift from the south, moving out of the north. Once that happens, right after midnight, that's when winds are going to start to die down. Temperatures across the region starting to dip down to the 60s, and you can see some areas still sticking in the 70s. So it's going to be a pretty nice warm evening for us. If you plan on going out, it'd be nice. Clouds are completely moved out of our area, and we don't see any kind of severe weather happening all the way until Sunday evening, Easter Sunday, but with the main threat being on Monday. I'll have all those details for you up next.
All right, thanks, Lindsay. Maryland Governor Wes Moore called the Francis Scott Key Bridge's collapse an economic catastrophe. Officials are sharing plans to clear the water of debris from the bridge and ship that crashed into it so they can reopen the port of Baltimore. Willie James Inman has the latest.
This crane that we're looking at is massive. The thing we also know is this: so is the challenge ahead of us.
Huge cranes are arriving to help in the daunting effort to reopen the Port of Baltimore.
I've been informed by the U.S. Navy that they are supplying us with 4 heavy lift cranes. 2 have already arrived, 1 arrives tonight, and the 4th is arriving on Monday.
Maryland Governor Wes Moore says one of the cranes, the biggest on the East Coast, can lift about 1,000 tons. But the collapsed bridge still poses a challenge.
The Key Bridge, which sits on top of the vessel right now, that weight is somewhere between 3,000 and 4,000 tons.
Crews plan to cut fallen parts of the bridge into smaller sections to pull out of the Patapsco River. The Port of Baltimore has been closed since a large cargo ship rammed the bridge, knocking it down early Tuesday. One of the priorities is removing the wreckage, preventing divers from recovering the bodies of 4 construction workers still unaccounted for. Among them, Jose Lopez. His wife, Isabel Franco, spoke through an interpreter.
He had a good heart. He was a hard worker. He was always worried about his family, too. He died, but he was fighting for us always.
The remains of 2 construction workers on the bridge at the time of the collapse were found on Wednesday. Willie James Inman, CBS News.
President Biden plans to visit Baltimore next week. He has said he expects the federal government to pay for the full cost of reconstructing the bridge. On Thursday, the Biden administration approved $60 million in immediate federal aid to help clean up the wreckage. The Chinook, Kansas Community Foundation plans to make an initial distribution of donated funds to displaced residents of the Cornerstone Apartments following last week's fire. The foundation has raised more than $12,000 in the form of gift cards and vouchers. They will distribute it tomorrow from 9 to 10:30 a.m. at the multi-purpose building located at 400 South Highland. A Bentonville, Arkansas man plants the seeds to raise funds for a good cause. Jason Vella, who moved from Australia to the Ozarks, started by planting one red maple in his backyard. After posting its availability on Facebook Marketplace, 25 people reached out in the first 30 minutes. That one tree planted the seeds for the NWA Tree Project. Vella began selling tree seedlings at $5 each to help grow the tree population, with the money to go to women and children's shelters as well as other nonprofits.
We have raised $30,000, but we're only just getting started, and so we're really excited for what the future can bring.
In 3 years, Vella has sold 7,000 trees, and all of them have come through his yard. A Frontenac, Kansas man is celebrating his 44th birthday by hitting the pavement. Eric Good is running 4 miles every 4 hours over a 44-hour span. It's all in an effort to raise $7,000 to help build a well in Kenya so people there can have clean drinking water. Good says he did this on his 40th birthday as well, but COVID ruined the celebration, so he hopes this year goes a little better.
The main thing is I want to inspire others that they can help at any point in their life, young, old. It just takes one person. I usually teach with the power of one. It just takes one person to start something. And my goal is to start something that matters.
Something we take for granted here in America, and over there it's a whole different ballgame. And this is a really cool thing to give a little bit back.
It's a video. Started his journey at the Northwest Shelter of Lincoln Park in Pittsburgh. Cyclists hit the street of Joplin to remind residents of the presence of bicycles in the community. Bike Walk Joplin hosted the critical mass bike ride this evening. The event served as a way to celebrate the biking community in Joplin, but to also remind motorists about the presence of bicycles sharing the road.
Missouri law requires motorists to give cyclists 6 feet. Second is you can be bright if you're on a bicycle or if you're a pedestrian, make sure that you're nice and visible. A lot of times the accidents that we see within Joplin city limits occur at night. So if you're nice and visible, if you make sure that you have lights, if you don't have access to lights, reach out to somebody. Bike Walk Joplin would be a great resource. Reach out to someone who can help you get lights or some kind of neon, bright colored line of clothing.
You can head over to our website, KOAMnewsnow.com, for an upcoming schedule of upcoming rides. Pitt State hits the diamond against Nebraska Kearney. Brock has highlights from this matchup and more coming up later in sports. But first, travelers will soon hit the road for the best places to see the eclipse, and that could make for some travel difficulties. The city of Joplin plans to turn the solar eclipse celebration into a solar-bration. The Creative Learning Alliance kicks off the festivities Friday, April 5th, with an evening event titled Wonders of the Moon, co-hosted by Chaos Brewing. The evening event includes a meal, a pint of Eclipse craft beer brewed just for the event, and fun educational activities. Other Joplin venues such as Wildcat Glades and Joplin Public Library get in on the fun with their own events during the weekend. Solar-bration, all culminating with a viewing party on Monday, April 8th. For a complete list of solar-bration events, head over to KOAMnewsnow.com. One of the viewing hotspots for folks seeking totality on the 8th will be Russellville, Arkansas, but almost 300 couples from 22 different states will hit the Arkansas city for their own special commemoration. They plan to say "I do" in the shadow of this historic event. The mass wedding will take place at the Russellville Soccer Complex, and for interested couples, there is still time to register. How about that? total eclipse of the heart, am I right? The April 8th total solar eclipse is approaching, and with that, Missouri authorities are advising travelers to plan ahead and be cautious as traffic is expected to increase. KOAM's Fernanda Silva has more.
A large influx of traffic. That's Missouri's Department of Transportation and AAA's expectations for the day of the upcoming solar eclipse. Not only on the day of, but also on the ones before.
Some of the smaller communities along the path of totality could see visitors that are 2, 3, or even 4 times their population.
But their concern is not only with the wave of visitors on the roads.
We would like to make sure people know not to park on the interstate or the shoulder of the interstate, like not to park on both of those would be good. If you want to watch the eclipse, the best method would be to exit the highway and to stop.
If you're driving during the eclipse, make sure you're not trying to drive with your eclipse glasses on. You're not trying to take pictures of it, and your headlights are on.
The biggest thing for drivers, your focus should be on what's in front of you and around you. That's probably the biggest piece of advice we're warning drivers. Do not try to view the eclipse while you're behind the wheel.
Besides the ones we've mentioned already, do you have any other advice for people?
There'll probably be extra pedestrians all over the place, so it'd be good to just watch out for extra pedestrians during the lead up to the event and right after.
Fernanda Silva, KOAM News.
According to MoDOT, more than 115 miles of south and southeastern Missouri from West Plains to Cape Girardeau will provide total solar eclipse viewing from 1:55 p.m. to 2:04 p.m. A little later, a Joplin roller rink hosts a glowing good time to celebrate an early Easter. We'll have more.
And after the break, we'll take a look at your Easter weekend forecast. Well, it's shaping up to be a pretty nice evening. We see temperatures still sticking around in the upper 60s. Some areas still in the 70s tonight. We can take a look at the Indigo Sky Casino and Resort camera. It's a pretty nice night to go to the casino. It's going to be pretty clear. We see most of the clouds have made their way off to the east, and winds are starting to die down as we get a little bit closer to those winds shifting out of the north. Now, our next severe weather system that we're tracking isn't coming in until late Sunday into Monday. We do have an alert day for Monday. It is a pretty severe low pressure system right now, still on the west coast. And as it makes its way closer to us, we'll get a better idea about what we can expect to see on Monday. But it's already still an alert day, so you might want to already start getting prepared for that. We're seeing temperatures starting to warm up. In the mid-60s for a high on Thursday, getting into the mid-70s today. And as we move into tomorrow, we'll see temperatures nearing 80 degrees. So it's going to be pretty nice. And we're getting to that season where temperatures are starting to stick around in the 70s, which I'm a fan of. Winds are going to start to die down tonight. They shift out of the north. And as we move into tomorrow, it's going to be pretty nice, calm day. We may see some clouds in the area, but for the most part, getting up to the upper 70s. Now, can't say the same for Sunday. I know it is Easter Sunday. However, we do expect to see some showers possible in the morning. Pretty windy conditions as well. And then we also have a chance for an isolated thunderstorm later in the evening. Now, the parameters are set up for severe weather, and the environment is looking good to sustain severe weather on Sunday. However, as of right now, we're not seeing anything come in until Monday morning. Now, Saturday, we could see some showers in the southern counties. After midnight, that chance does go up, and then we'll get to the heavier rainfall Sunday morning. Still showers, but just clipping our northern counties, making its way off to the east. After that, we're not seeing any severe weather pop up until Monday morning. This will be a pretty severe thunderstorm in Nevada, and then we've got some more moving in from Tulsa, and those are going to spark off as it goes through Joplin. We'll have a few more isolated thunderstorms early in the morning on Monday, and then as we move into later Monday evening, those could increase in quantity. Now, we have a low risk for severe weather tomorrow and for Sunday. Pretty low. The chances of actually having severe weather not as strong as what we're going to see on Monday. After noon, we're going to start to see showers kind of widespread a little bit lighter until we get to about 7 p.m. That's when we're going to see more thunderstorm chances pop up. This will be the most likely time for severe weather after 7 all the way through midnight. And then we'll have another patch of rain coming in for Tuesday morning. However, this rain's going to be just mostly showers for the area, and it will taper off as we get into the later morning hours on Tuesday. We do have an alert day for Monday, seeing as severe weather is pretty great in our area. And then after it clears out on Tuesday, temperatures start to cool off a little bit. Sun comes back out and we'll warm back up pretty quickly by next weekend.
Hopefully we won't need too many umbrellas for Easter egg hunting or anything like that.
Not so likely. Some isolated showers, but like I said, severe weather is mostly contained to Monday.
Perfect.
But don't be surprised if Sunday evening a thunderstorm or two pop up.
Get your Easter egg done, hunting done early.
Yes.
Do it early. Absolutely. Thanks, Lindsay. Roller City Entertainment in Joplin is celebrating Easter early with a glow-in-the-dark egg hunt. It started with a skating party where kids 6 and younger and their parents could have some fun in the rink and the play zone. Officials say it's a great way for kids to connect. The glow-in-the-dark egg hunt kicked off with a visit from the Easter Bunny. Coming up in sports, Missouri Southern baseball looks to bounce back from yesterday's loss on the road. Plus, Pitt State softball continues to impress. Brock Baldridge has those stories and more coming up.
Pitt State softball is coming off 2 consecutive losses to the number 3 team in the country, Rogers State, over the weekend. Now today, the Gorillas try to start a new winning streak at home. Windy day at the PSU softball complex as the Gorillas host Nebraska Kearney. We start things off in the top of the first. Bases are loaded for Gianna Galley, and she clears the fence into center field for a grand slam. Not the start the Gorillas wanted. 4-0 Nebraska Kearney. So Pitt State looking to respond now. We go to the bottom of the first. Ducks on the pond for Paxton Hayes. That ball finds the outfield wall. 2 runs come in to score. Pitt State cuts the lead in half. It's a 4-2 ball game. Next batter to the plate. Maddie Fernandez goes opposite field into that wind, and you can kiss it goodbye for a 2-run home run. And all of a sudden, Pitt State ties the game 4-4. We jump ahead to the 4th inning now. It's Maddie Fernandez once again. Singles this one up the middle. Pair of RBIs coming to score. Pitt State goes on to win game 1, 12-4. Well, in game 2 of the doubleheader, Pitt State looking to go for the sweep, and well, let's not waste any time. Watch this. Leadoff hitter Heather Arnett bunts and beats out the throw to first. Then the throw is thrown away. Arnett, the Frontenac alum, turns on the Astroburners and goes home to home for the Little League Inside the Park homer. 1-0 Pitt State. How about that start? In the 3rd inning now, same score. Paxton Hayes up at the plate. Hammers this into right field. Run comes in to score. The Gorillas lead 2-0. Fast forward to the 5th inning now. Pitt State leads 4-1. Amaya Snyder showing bunt, then pulls back, belts one deep to center field, and the center fielder is out of room, and it's out of here. 2-run jack. Pitt State bounces off the loss from last weekend. Gorillas win game 2, 10-2, complete the series sweep over the Lopers. Well, Missouri Southern softball is home for a doubleheader this afternoon. The Lions are coming off of a 2-game sweep of Northeastern State. Wind gusting in Joplin as Missouri Southern softball takes on Fort Hays State. Bottom of the first, Katie Gray bounces this one off the left field. Kylie Jacks hustles around third and scores to get the Lions a 1-0 lead. We go to the bottom of the 3rd now. Kara Amos up at the plate. Well, she sends this one off the pitcher's knee into center field. Yasmin Vargas comes around to score, and Southern is in front 3-1. Same inning now. Carson Tinkler up at the plate. Gets a hold of this one into that wind, and that will go over the right fielder's head. One hop the fence. It's an RBI double. Lions take a 4-1 lead. So we head to the 4th inning now. Same score. Fly ball to right field, and check out this diving catch here by Adriana Young, who lays out Web Gem right there. Lions win game 1 with ease, 5-2 the final score. So we go over the game 2 now. The Lions trying to get their 4th win in a row. But Hayes strikes first. Top of the 2nd inning, Alondra Dominguez lines one to right field. That brings in a run. Tigers lead 1-0. Bottom of the inning now, Lions have the answer. Kate Thurman singles this one to left field. Katie Gray scores. We're tied up 1-1. We go to the bottom of the fourth. Still tied until Kara Amos tees off. Deep right field, and that's gone for a big fly. Solo home run. Lions lead 2-1. Next inning now. Lions stretch the lead even further as Amos is up once again. Slaps this one off the first baseman. Hustles in there for the single. Another run comes in to score, and the Lions take both ends of the doubleheader. They win this game 4-3 in Game 2. Well, coming off of a disappointing loss in extra innings yesterday, Missouri Southern Baseball plays Game 2 on the road against Northwest Missouri State. The Lions need extra innings, but they get the job done, winning this game 7-5. Meanwhile, Pitt State baseball looking to stay hot as they're on the road tonight at Northeastern State. The Gorillas also needing extra innings in this one, but it's Northeastern State who hits the walk-off home run in the 10th inning, and the Riverhawks win this game 10-9. Well, it is Thunder Friday night on KOAM Fox 14. Oklahoma City is currently tied for second in the Western Conference standings and only a half game out of first place, so every game matters coming down the stretch. Oklahoma City wins this game 128-103. Plus, programming note and a reminder to all the wrestling fans out there, if you want to see WWE SmackDown, that will air in its entirety following KOAM News at 9 and Fox 14 tonight. Well, you know, the basketball season is just kind of wrapping up, and I feel like we're now full swing in the softball and baseball season now.
Absolutely, and both Pitt State and MSSU just starting off strong.
Let's see if they can keep the momentum rolling.
Absolutely. Thanks, Brock, once again. That's a look at sports. We're back with more news after this. The circus is back in town. This year, the Tarzan Zerbini Circus features elephants, horses, a talented Vegas pooch, and a motorcycle stunt team. Plus, ringmaster Joseph Bauer returns with his daredevil performance of on the original Space Wheel of Thrills. Longtime circus owner Tarzan Zerbini says whenever they arrive in a new town, the first step is setting up the tent. The tent is set up and ready to go at the former Atwoods lot on South Madison and Webb City. The first show is tonight at 7:30 with a total of 6 shows this weekend and 7 shows next Thursday through Sunday. Should be a fun time for everyone planning to go. So,
yeah. Are you planning to go?
I don't know. We'll see. Depends on what the weather's like. But what's the weather like right now?
Well, you've got some good weather days ahead, but tonight looking all right. Tomorrow's going to be pretty nice. Some clouds in the area. We may have potential for some showers after midnight on Saturday. Easter Sunday is a little bit of a hit or miss. We see some showers and the environment set up for severe weather. However, we're not expecting any severe weather to come in until Monday. We do have an alert day for Monday because the severe weather is pretty intense, and we do see thunderstorms all day starting around 8 a.m. on Monday and continuing all the way through midnight until showers start to taper off on Tuesday.
Be prepared for it.
Definitely.
Be prepared. Awesome. All right. Thanks, Lindsay. Thank you for watching. We'll see you again next time from all of us here at KOAM News. Have a great evening.